I'm Rubery, a professor at Manchester Business School, and in 2008 I came up with the idea of forming the Fairness at Work group in Manchester Business School. I was head of the People Management Organisation division, and we had a range of scholars looking at issues of fairness at work from different disciplinary perspectives, including psychology, industrial relations, economics, sociology, and we were aware of other groups across the university. So this was an idea of bringing this group together. Another sort of motivating factor, and this links to the ILO network for regulating for decent work, was that fairness at work seemed to us a very important issue at a time of attacks on the normal or the sort of standard ways of regulating labour markets. We know that collective bargaining and trade union organisation has been under threat in many European countries and is at a very low level in developing countries. We also know, and this relates to my own research, that there's still a lot of pressure on whether or not legal regulation of the workplace has a negative effect on economic performance and or a negative effect on disadvantaged groups, which is a somewhat perverse argument. You would expect people would think that regulating the labour market would help disadvantaged groups. Well, that's also my own view, but there's a lot of work that's suggested that although regulating the labour market doesn't necessarily disadvantage the workforce as a whole, that it may have negative effects on groups that are called outsiders. And I work a lot on women's employment, and I was asked by the World Bank to look at this argument about whether or not regulating labour markets actually disadvantage women. But in fact, through my own work, I suggested that the evidence for this was very thin, and that we also needed to think about how to re-regulate the labour market in the interests of gender equality and not to rely on deregulation as a way of promoting fairness at work. So that's where our work and my own work fits in with the Regulating for Decent Work network and this important conference. Well, we have ESRC funded seminar series bringing groups together to discuss various aspects of fairness at work, whether it's inequalities and diversity or fair pay rewards, opportunities for voice at the workplace. That's been an important factor and also has highlighted the multidimensional aspects of fairness at work. We've also got a series of pilot projects going, people exploring different issues. Particularly, we've also got a pilot survey of what's happening in the workplaces in Manchester in the recession. I haven't been directly involved in that, so others may talk in more detail, but this is an important thing to link it to the current preoccupations of both employers and employees about insecurity in the workplace.